All
I
right.
don't know.
Let's go back to this
Listen,
discussion. So I was talking about eating popcorn on camera for money. I mean, I don't know if there's any takers out there, but
listen. This chick was on TikTok. I kid you not, and she was like, "I made $1,500 in 30 minutes," and I'm like, "Do tell, do tell. What cartel do you work for? Are they hiring?" This girl was like, "I sold my feet pictures," and I was like,
yeah,
"We'll
but
do
like
it.
I said
We'll
though,
do
like
it. No shame."
I tried to sign up to sell my feet and they were trying to charge me to sell my feet. Oh, my feet pictures. They're like, what? Like that didn't make no sense.
Wait,
So yeah.
I no this. So this site that she was talking about is like, of course. I mean, you pay a percentage if somebody buys the pictures. It's like
Oh.
I looked into it. I'm not even kidding. I straight dude. I was like, I have pretty feet. Like, dude, I keep them pedicured every week. I
You
will
know
be
what?
rich on my toes.
I have little sausage toes. I don't think they're gonna be. I don't
Cocktails
think they'll
and
do well.
crumbs toes. I
I'm
don't know if
I'm
that's.
like a small person, so like small feet, small toes. They just look weird.
I
I don't
have
know.
like I don't know. I guess you could say like average size feet, but I have
Well,
like
you're
I
like
can throw
so
I can
like
throw
you're
stuff
a
at you.
woman-sized woman, and I'm like
Yeah,
a
I'm a big
14-year-old
girl.
sized woman. No, like I'm
Yeah,
like short. It's stupid. I mean,
I know, and I'm really tall. So like I have my chair right now all the way down. Like I am sitting as low to the ground as my chair will go, and you see how tall I'm like 5'9".
I'm
Like
4'11",
I'm
so
like a fucking Amazon
like when I sit
woman.
on my couch, like you sit on your couch and your feet touch the ground, my freaking legs and feet go straight out. Pretty much. So,
I
but
don't know.
yeah,
I
no, like
wanted to stop growing. Let me listen. When I was like 5'2", like I was in like I don't know, like high school or like junior high, and I hit like 5'2", and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to get any taller. And then like I hit
mm,
5'3", and I was like, okay, that's enough. This is not funny anymore. Then I hit 5'5", and I was like, all right, this is bullshit. And then, like it just kept going, and I'm almost 5'10". Like I'm 5'9 3/4". I don't even like throwing the 3/4 on there because it makes me closer to 5'10".
I feel
But like, if
like the
I put on
universe
high
just
heels, I'm like 6'3".
my
Like
god, when I
it's
put on high heels, I'm like a big girl. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm barely like 5'3" with heels on."
dude, I put on my high heels. So like when we got married, so Grant is like 6 feet, right? So Grant's like six
My
feet tall.
husband's too. Uh-huh.
And so like when we got
I
married,
think my husband's like 6'2".
I was gonna wear heels, and then I realized that I would be like up here and he would be like here. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm serious. I hate it because like we go to dinner and I wear heels and I'm like looking down at him and I'm like, I want to offer him the kids menu with crayons.
I put
You
high
know?
heels. So like if I'm standing just barefoot next to my husband who's like 6'2", right? I don't even go to his nipples on his chest.
Bless your
But
heart.
then like I put high heels on and I barely go to like right above his nipples. If that
Look,
makes sense.
I'm all for plastic surgery, right? Hear me out. I'm all for plastic surgery. I wish there was a surgery to shrink me.
Like if you could give some of your height to me, like I
Yeah,
would
like
take
I
it.
could pass it over to you.
Right, yeah.
That would be wonderful. Because honestly, I hate my height. Like I really do. I feel like a fucking Amazon. All my friends are like shorter than me. So in pictures, I'm always the one that stands in the back and I'm a head and a half taller than everyone. You know? I feel like so out
Yeah.
of place. Like we go somewhere and like my literally my best friend in the whole entire world is no bullshit, like 5 foot even on
Mm.
a good day. She's
Oh,
really she's like 4'10", but
oh
we're gonna
wow.
let her say five
You're
feet.
still a little shorter than
Um,
me then.
but like her sister should legally have to ride in a booster seat, which is really funny. Um, so like the
Look,
whole family's really short, and we go somewhere and people are like, "Oh, let's take a picture," and her
speaking
head
of
is literally in my boobs.
oh my god, speaking of driving, like I have a Bronco. It's kind of high up, so I have to jump in it, put steps on it. My dad finally got tired of watching me jump in my vehicle, so he bought some steps for me. And so now like everybody's laughing because my seat is all the way up,
Uh
like all
huh.
the way. But yet there's like this huge ass gap between the steering wheel and me. They're like, if you're all the way up, like somebody told me if I were to do that, I'd be squished up to the
Oh
steering
my
wheel. I'm like,
god, I would be
no way. I
so
still have like tons of room. Like it's stupid. Like it's
like I
stupid when you're short.
so I drive my Camaro, right? And my seat is all the way so the seat can go up, down, back, forwards, the whole 9 yards. My seat is all the way down, all the way back, and my seat is like touching what
My
is supposed to be the
my
back
daughter
seat.
is really tall like that, and she literally drives like that. Her seat's all the way back. She's
Yeah.
got it's
And like
leaned
I'm
back.
seeing like over, I can see everything going on. And like people
Hmm.
get in my car and they're like, I can't see out of this thing. Because like the Camaro's got the big
Yeah,
dashboard or
I like
whatever.
Camaros.
And they're like, I can't see out of it. And I'm like, I see all the way to like the
All right,
fucking end of my
like
hood.
I need to stop shoving this in my face, but
I
just
think
for
we would get
viewers,
paid for
yeah,
this. So
viewers, like if
that's
any of you are like perverts and want to watch me eat popcorn, I will take your money. I will take
right.
your money
I will take
anytime.
that shit.
Oh, anyway,
I will look, I'll get on here and eat airheads, popcorn, Reese's pieces. What do you want?
mhm.
Like
I'm really mad tonight. I was looking for my obsidian necklace, which is really special to me, a little round one I've worn before. That thing just walked away. It walked right away. Cannot find it. I put it in the same place all the time.
so I got this in the mail and I don't know who I got it from.
Oh, what is it?
I have no idea who sent it to me.
What is it? Because it might have been for me. I know I sent you some
It's a
stuff.
pendulum.
Oh, it was from me. It was part of your gift.
Was it
Anyway,
from? It wasn't in the same box, and it didn't
that's
come with
weird.
all the other stuff.
That's weird.
I literally just got it in the mail the other day. It's beautiful. It's an amethyst pendulum. It's gorgeous.
That's one of the. I'll have to go look and see, but I believe
That's
that's one of the ones I sent
beautiful.
you.
I love it. I didn't know who
Anyway,
sent it, and I put it on my desk, and I was like, it's got to be good luck because
right.
like
So
amethyst is my birthstone.
let's just go ahead and dive into this show now that we've bored everybody with me eating popcorn and talking about our jewelry and
Right. Okay.
feet
First off,
pictures.
I would love to, I want to address and say that, like, yes, I've been gone.
Yeah.
A lot of things have been going
Mhm.
on. The show's kind of been on a pause.
Mhm.
Huge shout out to you for handling everything in the backside of this for us.
Trying.
You're amazing. And without you, we would already be dead.
Oh
Um,
no, thank you, but
it's,
no.
yes. And everybody, please go show her some love over on Unexplained Realms. It's amazing. She talks about some really wild shit, and I'm so here for
Yeah,
it.
I would love for like this new episode. It's a little bit of a true crime dating game serial killer, and hopefully we can get Miss Nikki over there on my side to really throw her true crime opinion in on that one because
I
that
would
one was
love to.
wild. It
I
took
would
me
love
2
to.
weeks to write it, and it was so
Really?
intense. Yeah,
So I said I was
I'd have
going
to walk
to.
away because it was just
I so I'm off work. I took a little bit of time for myself because I've been absolutely swamped with life. It's just been crazy. And so I took a little time off and want to catch up on all of my shows and catch up on everything that I love. And in the process of all this is what when I started following the case that we're doing tonight. And this is not like our normal show. This is not going to be like a normal. This is
as you
one
can
where
tell, I
we're
was
just
chomping
throwing,
popcorn, so
right?
totally
We're
not
just
normal.
kind of throwing some really crazy stuff tonight. This is a case I've been following since it started in March. And I don't know. I really wanted to like, I don't know, get some theories going on this.
Well, just so listeners, viewers know, Nikki and I have some very differing views, but we do meet in the middle somewhere. So don't be alarmed if you see us kind of like henpecking each other a little because
It
we have
happens.
some very different views on this. But like I said,
Yeah.
we have arrived in the middle together and agreed on some many theories. So,
I
but
want to start out with the timeline though.
Like
That's where I want to.
let's start out with the drink though. I mean, you're just gonna
Yeah,
throw these
that's the most
people in
important
there like,
part.
like
Cocktails before crimes.
exactly. Come on now.
So listen, this is my go-to, and like when the weather starts to change, because it's like sweet and it's not like over powerful. And I'm a bourbon girl. I love a good whiskey and
Oh
a
my
good
god, me too.
bourbon.
Jim Beam is my go-to.
Yeah, and their
Yes.
peach bourbon is
It's to die for.
amazing. You can also make the same drink though with peach brandy.
Mm. What was this
So,
called? I forgot to put it on the graphic, but it was a peach schno or no, peach I don't remember. What did we
um,
call it?
I don't
I
remember. It's
didn't put
just
it
one
on
that
there.
peaches and cream. Why am I so
Yes,
like
yes.
ditzy today?
I don't know, like, I think we're just you know what? We are rusty. We haven't done this in a while, so
That's what it
everyone just
is.
forgive us, and we have some really loyal fans, though, like, real quick, we'll shout out and then we'll do a little merch, and, I just have to say, over on YouTube, you guys are killing it. I mean, our last show, we took a break for a minute after that. That one was pretty heavy, the cannibal story,
That one was yeah,
and,
that was
like,
heavy.
that had some huge views, so
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah. Um,
And before we dive in too far, I do want to give a special shout out to our friends at Full Send Off Road Podcast.
mhm,
Great guys, Alex and Buddy and all them. They're amazing.
mhm,
We only get to see each other on these big rides and these big events. And we were
mhm,
actually going to try to do like a collab at Mud Nationals, and it just didn't work out. And also another shout out to Whiskey Biz, aka Bryce
yep,
Sparks, and Boss Whiskey Paige Sparks. They're amazing. I'm
yep,
actually rocking my Whiskey Biz merch on the show tonight.
mhm,
Huge shout out to them. You can catch them on Discovery Channel's new show, Mud Madness.
yep, good
Um,
stuff. Gotta go
they're
check that out.
super awesome. We had so much fun at Mud Nationals. Um, and of course, a huge shout out to our sponsors over at Old Tavern on George Street. We're killing the game over there, man. I'm over
Yep,
there. If you want to
very cool.
catch me and you want to come hang out and you want to come like have a drink, you can catch me working all the time. I live
Yeah,
there
I
now.
know. This is
Um,
why we're not here because she's always there.
I'm
So,
always
just
there.
saying. Um,
And
yeah.
what's crazy is when we wrap up here tonight, I'm probably gonna have to go up there.
Ugh, you were
I don't
lucky I'm
know.
not in Mississippi because, girl, we'd be covered in mud, full of Jim Beam,
I want to
and,
party. I'm
yeah,
ready.
it would be party central all the time. Universe kept us apart for a reason.
I'm telling you, they
So
were like, no.
just the I don't know, people don't they may not understand, but we like to play in the mud. We like to drink, so and we like crime. So, let's get back into the crime
Exactly.
now. Yeah.
And you know
Um,
what? I want to preface this by saying there's trigger warnings here,
mhm.
as with every show. Um,
This
so
one's a
like,
little
don't come
heavy.
for me. Um, Also, I remember everything that we say tonight are theories based on our opinions. They're based on the evidence that's been shown. We are not, by any stretch of the imagination, pointing a finger and saying anybody is guilty or whatever the case may be. So don't come for us later on.
Mm-mm.
But I do want to start out and say that my heart goes out to Riley Strain's family out of Missouri. That he's a teenager that went, or I say teen, he's an adult that went
Right.
missing out of Nashville, but he's from Missouri. My heart goes out to his family. I genuinely followed this from the very beginning, and I had hoped for the best, and I'd hoped that y'all would find Riley alive.
Mhm.
And I
Terrible.
believe
I
that there's
mean,
definitely more to the story than what we're being told.
and I think that one of the things we can both agree on is the reason I think we're captivated by this story is we both have sons that are young, so it's, heartbreaking, you know? So
Absolutely.
here he is on the screen, and what we're looking at with this case, just for viewers, listeners, we're tying this to the smiley face killers or killer. We're gonna
Yes.
see where this may lie within that whole theory. So,
So I want to start though with just the timeline in general. Okay. So things that don't add up in the timeline for me. Okay. We're going to start there and then
with
you kind
Riley's case or
of
overall?
with Riley's because
Right.
Riley's the reason that I dove into all of these with the smiley
Mhm.
face killers and the way that everything is going. So on Friday, March the 8th, Riley Strain was kicked out of a Nashville bar on a fraternity trip. Now, Strain and his friends had gone to Nashville for like the fraternity formal or whatever, and they were
Mm,
staying at the Tempo Hotel in downtown. So at a little before 8 o'clock, Riley FaceTimed his mom from Garth Brooks Bar on Broadway in Nashville and was with his friends. And his mom said that, they were giving her a hard time. It's like before 8 o'clock, she's already in bed. They're giving her a hard time. They're ribbing her about being
why are
old
you
and
in
ha
bed?
ha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he shows her around the bar. So remember now, this is before 8 o'clock. So he's completely coherent. He's showing her around. He pans the camera around. He says, "Hey, look, this is what it looks like." So he kind of like took his mom on the trip with him. All right. So then at 9:35, now here's where one account says 9:53, one says 9:35, but this one was confirmed by cameras. At 9:35, security escorted Riley out of Luke Bryan's bar
Mhm.
at
Now I have
on
a picture
Broadway.
up on the screen here, and, I'm not sure if this is after he was escorted out of Luke Bryan's bar, but he does look a little
Yes,
confused here,
this is
so
this is
possibility.
after he was this is one of the cameras that caught him coming off of one of the side streets, which we'll get into all of where every camera picked him up. But he's escorted out of the bar and put out with none of his friends. Now, here's what I find to be odd. So apparently one of his fraternity brothers walked out with him or was going to leave with him and
Mhm.
security wouldn't let them. um Basically said, "Oh no, you'll have to pay your tabs." Here's the thing, there's like 20 of these kids in there. I feel like that's not a really good excuse. You sent a kid, essentially he's a kid, you sent
Yeah,
him out of a
he was young.
bar. Obviously for what I can't find is what rule or conduct or whatever he broke to be kicked out
Well,
of
I
said bar.
read that he what I read was in it was in a news report. He was removed for being too drunk, and we can dive right into that because you know that I think that, it caused us both some grief when we found out how much he had actually drank.
So for him to be too intoxicated, here's the problem with that. At Luke Bryan's bar, he was served one alcoholic beverage and two waters. Now, we don't know what other bars, how many bars they had been to between 8 and 9:30, but I can tell you this much. Due to the fact that Nashville is super slammed between 8 and 9:30, you're not getting fucking trashed because you're waiting 20 minutes at a bar for a drink.
Oh, yeah,
So
easy.
unless this kid had the absolute like zero tolerance of all tolerance and smelling alcohol got him drunk, you did not do enough shots and consume enough alcohol in an hour
And
span to
not
be
only
that
that
fucked up.
not only that, didn't he tell his mother that the drink tasted funny? What did
Yes.
he say, like barbecue
He
or
said it
something?
tasted like barbecue. Um,
That to me is odd. Like, I I mean, I don't think there's any alcohol that would produce that kind of a smoky, kind of weird
The
taste.
only way you're gonna get that flavor is if you order a smoky old fashioned and they smoke the shit out of it with hickory. And I'm just being honest, as a bartender, I make
Mm,
these drinks all the time. That you're still not gonna taste like barbecue. It's gonna be a smoky whiskey. So, but he
right.
did tell his mom that his drink did taste funny.
Mm,
And at 9:45, so he's escorted out. Um, at
mm.
9:45, there's a
Got some
video
images of
of
him, and
him
what I just
by
found is that these images are of him after leaving the bar.
Now,
So,
the image that you have on the screen right
mhm.
now is one that we're really going to touch on here later on because that is the later, that's off of a body cam from a police officer who was
Mhm.
responding looking for burglars to vehicles. And he actually had an interaction with Riley. But at 9:45, there's a video of him by the downtown smoke and vape
I'm
shop
not sure if this
on
is it.
Church
Maybe.
Street. Yes,
Looks
that's
like
it.
there's some businesses back there. So
So
yeah.
that's over by on Church Street, and he's stumbling around. Then he's in following in a parking lot at Third Avenue and Church, and that's at 9:45:02 p.m.
Mhm.
And then the smoke shop also shared another video with a different angle of him stumbling on a sidewalk. So he's
Mhm.
very out of sorts. He's stumbling. There's one video where he actually falls. Um,
Yeah, I think I've
and
seen
in
that,
the
yeah.
I think he's in a parking lot. And he actually tumbles and he falls. Um, but then at 9:47, there's a video shared by the police that shows him crossing First Avenue. His route is so this kid is disoriented. He has no idea. He's not from the area. He's
I
kicked out of a bar. His
mm,
friends are still obviously at said bar or have left. They're trying to find him.
mhm,
At 9:52, the one image that you put up, a body
mhm,
cam shows him walking. Now, in the video from the body cam, it seems that he's gotten his coherence a little bit. He's gotten his bearings a little bit more because he actually has an interaction in a conversation with the officer. The officer says, "How are you?" He says, "I'm fine, sir. How are you?" There was no reason the cop didn't stop him. He didn't see that he was inebriated, he was out of sorts, there was any danger. And if you listen to the video, he doesn't sound like he's out of his mind. He's not
mhm.
intoxicated. Um,
We'll go ahead and put that up in a little bit and,
he's not distressed.
let everybody hear it. Um, but here's one, and this is actual body cam footage from
Yes.
Metro Police, this screenshot of their body cam. So you see him, he was walking over there.
Now, between 9:55 and 10 p.m., his phone pings near James Robertson Parkway and Gay Street. Now, the police said the cell phone tower is about a 2 mile radius, so it doesn't have an exact location. But his last phone call with a friend was also during that time period. So we know that
Mhm,
he made a call somewhere in that time frame. Now move on to Saturday, March the 9th. His friends report him missing. So at
mhm,
1:46, his friends make a phone call to file a missing persons report. On so that's on Saturday. On Monday, Nashville police post to social media about Riley. At 2:11 p.m., the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department makes a post on social media for the first time about his disappearance. And then a police helicopter started searching along Gay Street, including near the bank of the Cumberland River. Detectives are also now on the ground searching. On Tuesday, March the 12th, Luke Bryan's bar issues a statement on
mhm.
Riley's disappearance. Now, I have a copy of that statement, which to me seems very
It
out of
literally it
touch.
lacks empathy. It really
Yes.
lacks empathy.
It
So,
seems very out of touch.
mhm,
So the statement is in our effort to help the Nashville Metro Police Department's missing persons investigation of Riley Strain, we proactively provided detailed information quickly after his visit to our business on March 8th. This information included all security camera footage photos of Riley at our establishment with detailed timestamps, transaction records, and staff accounts. Additionally, we proactively engaged in communication with the Tennessee Alcohol Beverage Commission and will continue to communicate and provide any records needed to aid the ongoing investigation. During Riley's visit to Luke's 32 Bridge, our records show he purchased and was served one alcoholic drink and two waters. At 9:35 p.m., our security team made a decision based on our conduct standards, escort him from the venue through our Broadway exit at the front of our building. He was followed down the stairs with one member of his party. The individual with Riley did not exit and returned upstairs. Our prayers continue to be with Riley's friends and family during this time and for his safe return.
So, if one person from his party followed him out, what's their statements? But I lost him, or I mean,
That so apparently what I gathered and what I could find is that they were going to, I guess, go out with him, and they were told they couldn't because they still had to pay their tabs. That's what I'm under the
okay,
impression.
so
So I'm
they
assuming
kicked him
security
out,
said you
and
couldn't go
somebody
out
had
with
to,
him.
yeah, somebody had to pay them tabs. Okay,
But there's like
um,
how many of these guys are on this fraternity trip? You tell me that out of say 20 of them that are in there, one of them couldn't picked up and left with his friend. And
mm-hmm,
I just found it to be odd that you didn't let you turn to a kid. That
mm-hmm,
is negligence on the bar's part because
right.
I know here if I put someone out and I am not aware and conscious of, like, say they're highly intoxicated and they've been overserved or whatever the case may be, or I suspect they've been drugged, anything of that nature. First
Uh,
off, just in good conscience, I'm not a
well,
piece of
yeah, in
shit.
good conscience, but I do know, state to state, it's very different. In California, they accept no responsibility. You leave the bar, you're drunk, they kick you out. They don't care if you live or die.
Well, see, and here
I
we have
actually
third
lost some
party.
close friends because of that. It's pretty horrific. But
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, I understand financially they're not willing to take any responsibility. So
And see, I don't know if Tennessee is like, say Mississippi
yeah,
is a
I'm not
third
sure.
party liability
What's
state.
it
I
called?
don't know if Tennessee is. I know we're a third party liability state. That is
Yeah.
why you will never find our bars around here don't have like matchbooks and stuff with our names on them because
Mm,
if they can link it back to, and that's a third party liability. Hence
and
why
then it's
also we have the rules
called the
or
Dram law.
yeah, the dram law.
Injured person can sue a bar or something like that, dram law. But
Yep.
I know California is anti-dram law, so they don't care if you
Yeah.
know,
They're like,
whatever happens
whatever.
to you, you're on your own. Yeah.
Um,
So,
But now on March 13th, this is what's interesting to me. The Tennessee Alcohol Beverage Commission opens an investigation.
mhm.
So
Before we go too far, I'm trying to get this thing to load for me, but I do have the video of him talking to the officer. I'm just struggling tonight. I think it was not enough popcorn or alcohol. Let's see, where are you?
I have that
Here we
covered.
go. Oh, I had a few sips. I'm not, not feeling it tonight, but let's
I
see,
know.
it's loading. But this is interesting, and we can go backwards, forward, and replay it if needed, so that everyone can get the full gist of it, or whatever. Let's see. Did you load? There you are. Okay.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, it didn't get it all, but
But if you find that full video, I
yeah.
wasn't going to go into this until later,
Uh,
but
I know
there
what you're going to.
there are key parts in here that I'm going to touch on that I am adamant I've replayed, I've listened, I have analyzed, I have spent hours on that one video.
So basically, we all know we're gonna put this video up. If you haven't figured out, we are pre-recording. So I will do my editing, producing magic after we're done, and that video will be in here. So you can backwards listen, slow it down, and I think I'm going to try and slow it down too because there's some key points in there that we need to hear. So moving on. Sorry.
So there's the Tennessee Alcohol Beverage Commission opens an investigation. I'm not really going to dive too far into all of that. On Thursday, March the 14th, Nashville police speak on camera to the media for the very first time about Riley. And they say there's no indication of foul play. There's no evidence that a crime was committed at the time of his disappearance. They're searching along the banks of the Cumberland River, blah, blah, blah. The typical, we're not going to give you much, but we're going to give you enough to shut you up, basically.
Yeah. Basically.
They released a second statement from the restaurant or bar
on
March 15th, and I couldn't find a copy. I've got to find that. I didn't actually save that one.
Well, you know what? We will throw that up on social media and you all can go read it yourselves later.
But then, so remember now, this kid went missing on March the 8th. Okay.
2024. Yeah.
March 8th. On March the 17th, Riley's bank card is found along the Cumberland River. Now, there's been ground searches this whole fucking time. Okay. We've had boots on the ground with the Cajun Navy has stepped in. I mean, there's people everywhere. Okay. Thousands of people are searching for Riley. 10 fucking days later, his bank card is discovered on an embankment between Gay Street and the Cumberland River around 1 p.m. You mean to tell me for 10 days? And look, if you see the picture of this bank card laying there, it's in perfect. I mean, it doesn't look
right. It doesn't look
like,
weathered. It
no,
doesn't look like
it's not dirty. It's not weathered. It's not I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna post. I am like, I don't know, is Mercury and retrograde or in the microwave again because I am just having tech issues. So I'm gonna put the back of the card up first, and the reason for that is you're gonna see the back of our cards are typically white, and sometimes they're gray, but typically they're white. And so you'll see how very clean this card is. You see?
Yeah. 100%.
Obviously, the important stuff is blocked out for obvious reasons, but this does not look like a card that's been sitting in water or the weather and this is March in Tennessee. So, I mean, we already know
there's
the
no
weather's
pollen, no water, no dirt.
Yeah,
dust.
nothing. Strange. Yeah.
I find that to be a little hard to believe. I mean, if we're being honest here.
Agreed.
But I'm just a little,
I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know. Maybe we're just skeptics, but I agree with you. I feel like it should be more weathered, but maybe not. I mean,
so they find, they find his card 10 days later on the banks of the river. Two ladies actually found it. But around one, okay, so on the same day at so on Sunday, March 17th, 2:42 p.m., the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department said his card was discovered. Around
Mhm.
1 p.m., a body was reported floating in the Cumberland River near the 1000 block of Cleese's Ferry Road. Um, so
Strange.
that's a body. Then on
Mhm.
March 18th, Nashville police released the video showing Strain's interaction with the Nashville police officer, which is the one that we
Mhm. Right. He
he did
didn't
not
sound, like, overwhelmingly drunk to me in that video at all.
no.
It just, like, normal, you know?
No, he didn't seem out of sorts or in distress. On
Mhm.
Tuesday, March 19th, Strain's family and the United Cajun Navy hold a press conference on the investigation. So he's now been missing for 11 days. And his family holds a press conference and called for more organized search efforts. So the United Cajun Navy, which is a wonderful group of guys,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
awesome stuff
um,
out there.
um, basically they came together after Katrina. For people that don't know what the Cajun Navy is, being from where I am, Katrina totally fucked our whole lives up down here.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mhm.
because of the efforts or the lack thereof in effort from FEMA and MEMA and LEMA and all of that, we ended up with a group of people, these rednecks with their John boats, said, fuck this, we're going to do our own thing. And they formed the Cajun Navy. The Cajun Navy will go out and respond to missing people, natural disasters. One of the greatest organizations in the world. Okay. And the Strain family um, contacted them and they said, you know what? Sure, we'll go. So they volunteer, they get involved, and their main goal is obviously to find Riley. And of course, their secondary focus is, ensuring the safety of the people who are out here already searching for him. So during the press conference, Flag and one of the women who found the bank card, give safety tips for everyone, what to do. They're basically reiterating everything and saying, hey, look, keep the boots on the ground. Let's keep looking. So they're still believing that Riley's in this area. And you have helicopters in the air. Boats are, in back in the Cumberland River, once again looking for him. So they're very determined that he's in the Cumberland River. On Wednesday, March 20th, they start searching for him at Cheatham Dam, which is out in Cheatham County. Um, they search outside of Ashland City. And so Cheatham Dam is about 45 miles downriver from Nashville.
Right.
They have people up here on the banks looking for debris in the water. They closed and opened the dam for the search efforts. Found nothing. They wrapped up that search at like 2:30 p.m. On Friday, March 22nd, Riley's body is found in the Cumberland River, in West Nashville, approximately 8 miles from the downtown area where he was. And his body was discovered just before 7:30 a.m. Now, there's where we start getting anything. He was still fully clothed. He was in the clothes that he was wearing when he went missing. The cops say, okay, there's no foul play suspected. Autopsy's pending. The normal. Now, Sunday, March 24th, the initial autopsy examinations suggest drowning was accidental. It said his death continues to appear accidental. While Mumford says toxicology results are still pending, there is no apparent foul play. A final autopsy will not be complete until all testing is finished. But now the family's not happy with this, right?
Well, of course, yeah.
On Wednesday, March 27th, the family orders a second autopsy before the body returns to Springfield for visitation. The family's not buying it. Something's not adding up
Mhm.
because they said that after he was found dead, he didn't have his wallet or the pants or the cowboy boots that he was wearing the night he disappeared. The only thing
So
that was
what
found,
like, he just stripped down and jumped in the water? I mean, come on, really? That's
exactly.
bizarre, you know?
They
I
said
mean,
the only
that's not
thing,
alcohol, that sounds like drugs, and we know that he wasn't on any drugs, so
exactly. Now, they remember the cop said, "Oh, he was found in the clothes he was wearing." The only thing that was found with him was his watch and his shirt, not his pants, not his boots, not his wallet. But the cops have already said, "Oh, he was found in the clothes he went missing in." Wouldn't that include
mm,
boots and jeans?
you would think. So, real quick,
Now,
I actually
also,
have that full video if you wanna throw it up before we go too further. Um, so let's do this. I'm gonna put it up here and
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's over here on Gay Street, near First Avenue North.
so let's just dive into what we think we've heard in that video. And
I want
I
to hold on,
think
pause on
that
that for 2
okay,
seconds.
sure. Mm,
Because before we get into that, I want to make a point to explain why the family says, "No, I'm not buying it." I
mhm,
feel like it's really important to touch on this. Remember, they're saying drowning was the cause, correct? We suspect no foul play. How do you fucking drown when there's no water in your lungs?
mhm. Um, yeah. I I have no words for that because water in the lungs is exactly how you drown. You can't drown unless you have water in your lungs. So,
Okay, so there was no water found in Riley Strain's lungs.
yep, very strange.
Now, I don't know about you,
Mhm.
but I feel like if I fucking drowned, it is because I had water in my lungs. That's what drowning fucking is. So now the family says, we want a second, we want a second
Mm,
opinion. We're not happy with your findings. So they asked for a second autopsy before um, his body is returned to Missouri. Now, they've not really expanded on the findings of this second autopsy, but his body has been returned to his hometown. And they
mm,
did conduct a celebration of life, or will conduct one on Friday. Um, for had conducted one on Friday, and the family says, "Nah, we're not buying this. We want more information. We want you to release more
mm,
information. We want to see the videos. We want to hear this. We want to hear that." Um, Now they've been hesitant to release certain things, but on March the 28th, the authorities finally released the 911 call detailing the discovery of Riley's body.
mm.
And I listened to it. The caller identifies himself. He works on the river, on a barge. And he said that the
Right.
body was fully submerged on the front of the barge.
Wow.
I listened to it and I don't know. I have some serious questions. Now,
Mm,
let we've talked about that video of his interaction with the Nashville police officer on the body cam. And I agree with the family. I think there is something that's obviously clearly amiss here.
Right.
Number one. But I want to note this, just to be clear, that in all of the searching for Riley, okay, this is where shit's really fucking wild. In all of the searching for Riley, okay, authorities find three more bodies. In addition to the missing person who was still alive. So you want me to believe that Tennessee's just got the clumsiest fucking human beings in the world.
Yep.
And these
They're just
motherfuckers
walking
are
around,
just
falling in the
falling
water.
off in the goddamn water.
Mm-hmm.
And then not far up from the Cumberland River on the Tennessee River, they find two more people, a father and son who's been missing. So you find 6 people, 7 including Riley, in this search for one person. What's really going on in Tennessee?
Right. Something's off there.
Is there something in the water?
Hmm.
Now, let's touch on, now that we know there's been some weird shit going on in Tennessee, that video, which led us to our debates and different, I don't know, same opinion, different opinions. In that video, at about the 19, I would say like 18 seconds, you listen really closely, you can hear, like you have to sit and listen, and I've listened over and over and over. He has the interaction with the police officer. He continues to walk past. Now, when the cop says he disappeared, he vanished into thin air. If you go back and look at every still, the same fucking car is in every video. Okay.
Which car is it? So we can, and I'll throw that video back up here if you want.
There's a black car and a gray car constantly in these videos and pictures somewhere. It's like playing Where's Waldo with these cars. However, you can really hear someone tell him get in the car. There's coughing,
right? And
rumble.
I've heard it. To me, for listeners, viewers, put your headphones on, clear your head, and really focus, because it's difficult to hear. But once you hear it, you can't unhear it. You just know. Someone tells him to get in the car.
Not only do they tell him get in the car,
if you notice, the officer walked the other direction. So this brief exchange, how are you tonight? By the way, he did not sound intoxicated. If I was that fucked up, sorry, if I was that fucked up, I'd have been like, Lucifer, I mean, there's no way.
Exactly. He did not seem out of
sorts. He seemed very
coherent in his right mind. He was, good sir, how are you? And continues. But the officer says, which you see on the body cam, the officer is looking, he's responding to a call about someone smashing windows and breaking in. So he's walking one way and then he turns to walk back, and Riley's just gone. He's just vanished in the thin fucking air. You hear in the background, get in the car. You hear him say something to me that sounds like no. I can't say for sure, but it sounds like no. However, you also hear a car door close at about the 28-second mark.
We can
in
play
that
this again
video,
so people can kind of see. But I recommend you all put your headphones on. Put the volume up as soon as this video hits the screen, because you're going to hear what we're hearing. Maybe
pay attention
on our
at 19 seconds.
Maybe on our socials in the next few days or so, I'll play around with the audio and slow it down, and you guys go on over to Facebook or Instagram, maybe even TikTok, and find this when I do my production magic on it, and maybe you'll actually hear what we're hearing. But I'm gonna throw this up again. You said what? 18 seconds?
So start at like 17, where he has the interaction.
It just starts. I can't. The video is like. But here we go.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's over here on Gay Street.
All right, I'm going to do
Now,
this one more time, but I'm going to do it in a different way so we can talk you through this video. Let me see if I can do it this way. Gotta love our wonderful software here. Let me see if it'll load real quick. This way, when it's on the screen, I can pause it. The other way, I can't do that because I feel like guiding people to understand what we're saying is important. He's literally walking one way. It's maybe less than 30 seconds when he turns around and poof, Riley's gone. You
now
don't even see a speck in the distance of this
notice
person.
the gray car was pulling up and stopping.
Okay, let me try this way. I'm going to put this on the screen in this way. Try to bump the volume up here too, okay? And I'm going to be able to pause this. So Riley's right there on the left, coming towards us.
Watch right here. Cars slowing down.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
There's a car.
So let's go back a little ways here. Boom, there's the gray car. See it? Kind of pulled over somewhere.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Listen,
Good.
in the car. Right there. Get in the car.
Now, you have to hear, like, if you go back to this part, just for listeners and viewers, right after the exchange from the officer and Riley, you hear other voices. And that's what we're saying is bump your volume up on your headphones because there are other people talking, not just the officer and Riley. They say hello, hello. Then right after that, there are other voices. So, but you can tell there's nobody else there. Let's go back one more time here, and then we'll play through to watch the officer turn around and Riley's gone. Wait a minute. I'll go back there now.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
You hear that? There's voices.
Listen. Right there is a door, like a car door closed.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. But you can clearly hear get in the car. And
And
it
watch.
sounds like
Here he goes.
No.
He's going to turn around right now. Mm-hmm. Poof. There
It's
is
over here
nobody.
on Gay Street.
Hold on. I'm
Near
just
First.
gonna pause this, and I can't really zoom in. Maybe I can. Let's see. There we go. If you look, it's a little blurry, but there is no image of an individual.
No.
Unless
You
he
don't-
ran. I mean, maybe. I
But
don't
you would have
know.
heard you would have heard his boots running.
Right. I mean,
You would
we
have
heard
heard the
officer's
pitter patter.
footsteps.
Boots are loud, and this is
By
on
the way,
concrete.
those chest cameras are pretty awesome. They picked up the officer walking in the beginning. So,
Exactly.
but you can see straight ahead. There's like a little overpass here. There's a red pickup truck up there. You would think Riley would be somewhere in that perspective, where we would still see this person walking away, but he's not there. So I think what Nikki's theory is here, and I tend to agree, someone picked him up.
Yes, somebody
So,
picked Riley up. He got in a car.
yeah.
Now, I've. Ooh, that was huge. That's a lot of me on the screen.
Right, a little too much of us.
It was a little too much for me. I know that people are going to be like, oh, whatever. My first logic or my first theory, and I really lean on this because I've done so much research and I followed this case so hard. You and I have a difference of opinions. I think this could be linked to the smiley face killers.
Killer, maybe. I don't know.
Killer.
Like I told you, we've had this discussion off camera here, and I'm on the fence. I'm not opposed to the thought or the idea. I guess I would say that all the cases that are being said to be linked to the smiley face killer, I don't believe all of them are. This one in particular may be, and so is
I
a
think
few
people have
others.
stretched for some evidence more than once. But I think that this one, for some reason, I just have this.
So, like, for example, another one that's identical to this is what's his name? William Hurley. I believe that's his name. Hold on. Yeah, William Hurley disappeared from Boston, Massachusetts. He went to a Boston Bruins game, had called his fiance to pick him up. Halfway through this, she drove to the stadium, and when she arrived, he was nowhere to be found.
The guy in there's one in Toronto,
They found this
Canada.
guy, William Hurley. He found his body upstream in Charles River, not very far from where he had been at. He had suffered blunt force trauma to the head and eye socket injury and behind his left leg. They found GHB, a date rape drug, in his system, along with alcohol. His cell phone, which had been badly damaged, was discovered near 99 Street or something over there. But
I
at
also thought
one
of
point,
Dakota James
well,
out of
wait, this is the
Pittsburgh.
one that I was telling you about. At one point, someone used William's phone after he was dead. And then later they found the phone pretty destroyed somewhere in a different location. So obviously he didn't just stumble into the water and fall in, especially since who drugged him? He had the GHB drug in his system. That's the date rape drug.
Yes.
He's at a sports game. Who drugged his, like, that's insane, you know? I don't know. Anyway, you were saying the other cases?
There's Dakota James out
Mm,
of
mm,
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And once
right.
again, college guy, frat type guy, popular, good looking. Went to, I don't remember what the bar was, but disappears from a bar. Um, the divers, when they were looking for Dakota, found, I don't remember how many other cars and bodies in the
Oh, yeah.
water.
Mm.
Um, and then there's one in Corpus Christi
So let's
named
back up.
Caleb Harris.
Dakota James is very similar, very, very similar to the Riley case because it was ruled an accidental drowning. Found his body floating in the Ohio River about 10 miles from where he was last sighted. Police believe that he had fallen into the water while crossing a bridge near the city center. Um, Again, they're saying alcohol was involved, but he was not an inexperienced drinker. There was no way that he would have been so intoxicated that he fell. Like we were talking earlier, he's like one of those people that he can hang with his drinks. Like he's not gonna
Exactly.
fall and stumble. And so yeah, that one was very similar, eerily, and he kind of looked like Riley a little bit too. So
I want to know. I do have a question, and I'm
mm,
not pointing fingers. I want to know why none of his frat brothers have now spoken out.
I don't know. That's a strange one. Maybe it's guilt on their part. I
I'm
don't know.
wondering why no one. Why I don't know. I don't. I do have that question. It's been in my mind, but on the other
Mm,
side of it, I just think it's very peculiar. There is such a strong amount of college age frat type guys that are going missing around bodies of water in
mm,
places.
mhm.
Can't tell me it
Um,
doesn't look suspicious.
there are a lot of cases within this that they're actually finding the smiley face. What do you call that? The picture. What is that? Like it's a spray painted picture of a smiley face where they find these
Yes.
bodies.
So it's where they go missing. There's a smiley face spray painted in like that area. And so like if you go and look, let's see if I can find it and I'll throw it up here really quick.
I'm trying to find
So
something.
I looked at different like pictures of
Mm,
different areas. Um,
yeah.
I'm trying to find the one. So I don't know for sure. I can't say. Like I said, I am not claiming to be like there's like this group of smiley face killers. I just find it to be very peculiar Because if you look around, this is a very typical scenario here recently. Uh College age guy drinking at bar, slips something, gets kicked
Mhm.
out, separates from friends, taken by people, found in water. I Dude, this is happening so frequently. It used to be women had to watch for themselves. Now
Mhm.
it's like I'm like, dude, the guys are having to watch out. Christopher
Young
Jenkins
men,
out of
yeah.
Boston, Dakota James, Caleb Harris out of um what was it? Patrick McNeil was another one. I think he was like roofied and found 2 weeks later.
Mhm.
Dude, there's so many of these, and I've tried to link and say like the
So here's an example of the smiley faces. So just so everybody can
I'm
see.
trying to find one.
There
That's
you
what I was
go.
looking for.
There it is.
Um,
These are the different various smiley faces they've seen near these some of these murder scenes, or when they find the bodies or whatnot. So I feel like we're hitting that hour mark and we should just get into our theories, because I think your whole theory is like there's a killer. And I kind of am leaning towards that, not completely convinced, but
okay,
you had talked about a network. Let's dive into that one, because I
all
found
right.
that very interesting.
I okay. We don't know the level of depravity that the human person can actually be. We've dealt with like seeing serial killers and ID channel and watching Dahmer and Gacy videos and all these things. However,
I
with
think
that being
that's just
said,
us. No.
yes, probably. But with that being said, though, okay, I have always had this theory, especially when it comes to like Hollywood movie magic, so to speak. People don't dream some of this shit up. All right.
Right.
This shit comes from somewhere. Now, I love a good horror movie. We all know I do. But Hostel is one of the most fucked up series of movies if you watch them. They're
Mhm.
hunting people for fucking sport and for fun. All right. Granted, it's not in the US, but I'm almost convinced that there is like a network of these fucking people that are somehow like in the dark web era or area, and they're linked together, and these college age kids are going in,
Mhm.
and they're I it's
So
I
so
think
let's
they're hunting
let's
them.
let's dissect that just a little bit here. We talked about, I mean, you guys, when we're on like research for a show, we talk all day every day, and there's like weird shit that comes out of our minds. It happens. But what we were talking about when we dissected this theory about a network or some of the people, I reminded Nikki of the show I did on Unexplained Realms, The Bessa Mafia. It is a hitman for hire group on the dark web. I don't know if it's actually like if they're really reputable or not. I'm not gonna hire anybody to kill someone, but I mean, for research purposes, I guess I could, but I'm not gonna do
I
that.
feel like
But
I really don't dive that far into research.
right, I mean, though, I mean, it's a thought. Anyway, bottom line is there are websites like this on the dark web. Don't worry, I'm safe, but I have dived in to the dark web many times for research purposes on the shows, and it's a terrifying place. Don't go there. Like if you like your laptop, your computer, your phone, don't go there, because you will immediately get viruses if you don't know how to protect yourself. But those types of websites are what you'll find. Hitman for hire, there are whole websites about scamming people's credit cards. They teach you how to do it. And all along, they're probably going to set you up for failure, take your money, and but nevertheless, that's what the whole dark web is about, is people committing crimes. And I
I,
wouldn't doubt that there's some kind of a network of people. And what we talked about was how did we put it earlier? If this is the case, if there's a smiley face killers, perhaps they're hunting humans and they're stealing their wallets and taking pictures of them in the river or whatever, or waiting for the news media to come out to say, see, I mean, maybe they're winning prizes or getting paid, or it could
Well,
perhaps
okay, but
just be
this
like hunting, like people go hunting deer for sport. Maybe somebody's hunting humans for sport, particularly young men.
okay, this dates all the way back to like 1997. Okay,
Mhm.
so I've
Mm.
heard I found things that said like 95. I couldn't find any cases that link really back to 95, but from 97 on, I have
Mhm.
found different ones that have the same, they're in different states, different cities, all these different areas, but they have like the same MO. Like
Right, right.
they're the same exact same across the board.
Mhm, mhm.
So in 97, there were two retired detectives that were they were New York City cops. They became detectives and then they went PI, like they flipped and became private investigators. And they became up with this smiley face murder killer theory after there were three college age men
Mhm,
found dead
mhm.
in city rivers around the
I
same
actually
time.
watched a documentary. It was a pretty they award-winning documentary on this, and, I kind of, like, slid over to your side of the fence after watching it, so I
I
was
mean,
completely just on the fence. I mean,
I
I
but you
just
know what? These detectives have investigated
mm,
no less than 45 college age men found dead in water in 11 different states,
mhm.
all the way from 97 into the 2000s.
So,
Now there's like 797 cases that
with
seem to
that
all be
yeah, they
connected.
kind of connect. With that said, let's talk about my theory. Like, I think that it's a possibility there could be, like, a whole dark web network of people and, who knows, are hunting humans. Good theory, but I think that it's a possibility that it also could be one serial killer. Again, we did the
Not
Rodney
saying that
Alcala
that's not a
story.
possibility.
Huh?
It's completely. I just
Mhm.
one
Well, what
doing
wait,
this
well,
minute.
remember I just did the Rodney Alcala, serial killer over on Unexplained Realms,
Yeah,
and that guy in the 1970s killed, like, probably hundreds of people, women, and he did it all over the country. Like, he was hopping all over the country, like, California, northern, southern, the Bay Area of California, like, we're kinda close where I'm at. Um, you had New Hampshire, New York, Manhattan, Seattle, Washington, just bounced all over the place in a span of less than 7 years and murdered hundreds of people, and it was all by himself. So, I also believe the smiley face killer could be one person. So,
it could.
it could be one person.
But now
And, like,
you're talking
we
700 plus murders since
hey, they're saying
1997.
Rodney Alcala, like, we don't even know the amount of women that they found a storage locker of his in the state of Washington. He had thousands of photos of women. Some of them they've never identified. They don't know. So we have I mean, it's possible the guy was on a murder spree. Everybody go check out that show, shameless plug here, because he was in the middle of his murder spree. He got on the dating game show. Found the time to do that. I know. He's like, "Yeah,
It's a busy
murdered a bunch
man.
of people. Murdered a bunch of people, but I think I'm gonna go on the dating game show and find
I,
some love."
I, I mean, I guess if I'm just bored with killing people, why not? Tinder, here I come.
I kinda wondered though if he was, looking for new victims, and that was like a new way to do it, dating game show.
Okay, but now, okay, let's go on the theory that there is one. Let's
Mhm.
go with that. Okay. How are they financially able to travel this much unless maybe a truck driver,
Ooh, that's a good one. Never thought
on
about
the
that.
road truck driver?
Mhm. Um And then, like we talked about, inside of our theories, motive, what's the purpose of it?
Yeah.
So, like we talked about, maybe just somebody angry at young, privileged or semi-privileged, seemingly
I
privileged white men.
exactly. I think my theory, my profile for that would be they're
Mhm.
going after attractive, athletic, smart, frat type guys. Maybe they didn't graduate high school themselves.
Right.
Maybe they're unattractive, um, not happy with the way they look. They're very jealous of, and I have the middle child theory of had
Possibility.
an older sibling that was super popular, maybe a younger sibling that was super popular, and they were the odd, awkward, didn't have that popularity.
Mhm.
The middle
Mhm.
child syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah, I'm a middle child. I get it.
Um,
I
you know,
get it.
I'm not saying that or younger
I'm
child
just saying.
syndrome. Like maybe they
I
did,
get it.
maybe they were the one that's like they weren't the popular one and their sibling was, and it caused them to have issues with these popular pretty boys, so to
Right.
speak.
Now
And then my child, who is a true crime junkie as well, always comes up with some really good theories himself. And he came up with one. What if these are hazings gone wrong?
that was something I wondered about too. Mhm. They spiked their drink, maybe wasn't intending it to really go this far, but it did. So, yeah. Mhm. It's a
But
possibility.
797 hazings gone wrong?
And some of these guys were not college guys, so,
Yeah. So I
but
think
that's a
that you
good
would
one
have to
though.
decipher, but they all follow the same MO: body of water, drug from
Mhm.
bars. But
Right.
now one of them, and I don't remember which one it was. I think it was in Chicago.
Mhm.
I don't have to find the whole thing. He posted a YouTube about it. How this guy like pulled up and was like, "Get in the car, I'm your Uber," and he was like, "No, you're not. I didn't
Mm.
order an Uber." And he's like, "I'm your Uber. Get in the car." And like
Mhm.
he posted a whole YouTube about. He was like, "I think that I almost got murdered,"
Oh, wow.
and like so
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody that doesn't know you, pulls over on the side of the road and it's like, "Get in the car." Yeah, they're up to no good. So,
I'm not getting in the
you're gonna
car.
go you're gonna go missing, period.
But like he gave a
So
description of the car, he gave a description of the person, and I want to say it was like Chicago. It was like after an event, he had left a bar,
mhm.
and he was in the process of getting an Uber, but this car was like, "Get in, I'm your Uber," and he was like, the whole interaction was just really,
Strange.
really fucking wild. But then a couple of days later, there was a missing guy. It was in, I believe it was Chicago, and same MO, found in a body of water, the whole 9 yards. And the guy's like, dude, that sounds like what fucking happened to me. Only I didn't get in the fucking car.
Right.
So it makes me
So
wonder if
maybe.
there's either, if this one person, let's just say, let's go on the theory that it's one.
Mhm.
They're traveling around, were they renting a fucking car and pretending to be an Uber driver? Maybe.
Maybe. But in the 90s, like, if this spans back to then, like, they definitely didn't have
Yeah,
Ubers.
the Uber wasn't a thing then.
But
But
it could have been like, "Oh, I'm your taxi driver."
exactly. And it
No.
wouldn't have been hard to get a sign that said taxi on the side of your
Oh, yeah,
car.
no. Yeah. So let's leave them with one last theory because it's getting late and I'm eating popcorn again. I'm starving. So, um, you talked about, obviously we saw the smiley faces. I showed that picture. I'll show it again. At some locations of where bodies were found, whatnot. But there was some markings that you had said we talked about it earlier, like I don't know, American Indian type markings.
S um, the word, it's a word.
Where yeah, and it was
Sat
next to one of the smiley faces or something. I don't
they've
remember which page
obviously
it was, but
pinpointed this into multiple ones. Let me find it. Let me find it.
well,
Sinsinawa.
mhm,
So I've like tried to find the meaning of this, like,
Mm.
word or whatever, the origin of the name Cincinnati. It's derived from the Indian word meaning rattlesnake. Cincinnati
Mhm.
Mound was known for its rattlers. It's a Sioux word, also meaning home of the young eagle. You also had the theory. You went with the religious theory.
Oh. Hmm.
Um,
Um, like some angry Christian or whatever. I don't want to shame anybody's religion, but
bars are
somebody,
bad.
yeah, bars are
Cleansing is
bad,
good.
and you're a horrible drunk little person, and I must rid you. I actually knew an elderly gentleman who had a lot of money in my area, and he made it a point to go around attempting to shut down bars because he said they were the devil. I'm like, okay. I
All
actually
right.
bumped into him one day on the street as I was going into a bar. So, like, bye bye.
Whoopsie.
Gonna go have a beer now.
Oh my God.
um,
Look, so in it's really funny you say that. So growing up in small town Podunk, Mississippi, Jones County was dry. You couldn't get beer, you couldn't get liquor, you couldn't get wine. When they decided to vote on selling beer, the
wow.
fucking church, okay, Six Flags Over Jesus of Jones County, uh, boycotted and picketed and had signs with, like, you would have thought we were out here, I don't know, like a picket line
Mm,
for union workers not getting paid. It was horrible. And it was like, beer is the devil, it's sin. And it was
oh
really
my
funny.
god.
And I remember, so when they passed the law that they could sell beer in Jones County, these people lost their fucking minds.
Mm, I bet.
So, I mean, religion. Look, I come from an area where there are more fucking churches than pine trees and Joneses and Smiths. All right. Look,
Wow.
I'm not kidding. We have the most churches in our state. Um,
I've read that somewhere. Yeah.
oh yeah, you can't drive from my house in, no, I'm not exaggerating. In a 5 mile radius of my home, there's 150 churches.
Wow. I need to come visit.
Yeah.
So we need to wrap this up too. But listen, anybody that finds me eating popcorn on camera offensive, just shut up. Don't talk. But if you think it's hot and you want to pay me for it,
We can
you
arrange
can
that.
contribute to my trip to go see Nikki. We'll take pictures, videos, lots of drunk. We'll do drunk lives
I love
from the
it.
bar. I
And
know.
we're working on a TikTok.
I'm
That
working
will
on that.
be working on TikTok, and we have our merch. Don't forget our merch.
Oh, you know what?
I need to
I
order
haven't put
some
anything.
merch,
Yeah, we need to
actually.
wear our own shirts, huh?
I
That'd be cool.
know. I need
Yeah.
merch.
Um,
But we do have our wonderful merch line. And you know what? I'm really hoping that we can collab out with some friends over at Full
oh,
Send. I
absolutely.
want to find like a mud murder. I want to find something
I'm
that's
on
like,
it. I'll find you one. I'll find
I
us
really
one.
want to, and I'll call our guys over at Full Send Off Road and be like,
Mhm.
let's do a crossover. And once again, huge shout out to our sponsors, Imperial Nutrition and Byram. Thank you for the pick me ups every single day. I couldn't do it without y'all.
Mhm.
And our sponsors over at Old Tavern on George Street. Huge shout out. We are back open for lunch now, and we are killing the lunch game. We have wonderful specials every day. We are farm fresh food to table. Nothing's frozen. It's all fresh. We cook it homemade when you order it. Um, Come see me. I will make you all the
Mhm.
cocktails, anything your
I
heart
can't wait.
desires.
Mhm.
Um, and you know what? If you tell them that you came for me, you'll get a discount.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, come and see us. Oh, we also have first responders, military, police, all of that fun stuff. We have discounts for y'all. We have the Blue Line Blue Plate Special, which is for our police officers. As you know, we hardcore support and back the blue around here. So yeah, come and see us. Come hang out. We'd love to have you. And don't forget to go check out Anne over on Unexplained Realms. And eventually, surprise, she'll get me over there. She wants to interview me, and it's
Yes,
scary.
we need you. You know, if anybody even watches, I don't feel loved with Unexplained. I don't feel loved. Nobody gives me feedback. Not you, but I've done, obviously we do the podcast, but then there's the YouTube series. We've been interviewing different guests. We had a doctor on there, a well-known author,
Yeah.
of course we need to have like the best true crime host, Nikki, on there.
We are aiming up here. Listen, guys, this is our goal, and I am super excited. I want to be on Podcast Row for Crime Con. So dude, we got to make this happen. 2025. We've got to make it happen. I was gaming for this year, but things came up and things got a little slow and got a little wild. But 2025 Crime Con Podcast Row is the goal.
Yes. And with that, we shall let them go.
Merch.
So, yes, buy merch. And thank you.
Merch. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Until then, keep the cocktails flowing and the crime's coming.
Eat your popcorn too, okay?
Eat your popcorn.